Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about The Monkey. But before we get into that, remind you guys to please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my socials, Instagram. All those links will be in the description below. And that goes without being said, I will be doing some spoilers for the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please go check it out. I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere now, but if it's still in your theaters, go check it out if you can. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into the review. So The Monkey was directed by Osgood Perkins, who directed, I believe he directed the, forgot what it's called, The Innkeepers. He also directed Longlegs that came out last year, which had some praise, but I'm not sure quite how people liked it. I've heard some mixed things about it, but I think so far, the reaction to it was mostly positive. The Monkey is actually based off a short story called from Stephen King, and it's been adapted into a film directed by Osgood Perkins, who, if you didn't know, is the son of Anthony Perkins from the famous film Psycho. So the movie follows two young boys who were, I guess, middle school age. They find a monkey that was left over from their dad's belongings, who left out on them, went to go get some cigarettes, as they say in the movie, went to go get cigarettes and never came back. Early on in the film, you actually see their dad at the beginning of the film, and he has this monkey, and that it has brought a lot of bad luck to him. So I presume that him leaving was basically like the monkey event happened, and he probably left soon after. But we follow these two twin brothers. They go through their dad's stuff and they find this monkey sitting in the closet, and they start messing with it, and many different events start happening where people start dying in horrendous ways, and they figure out that it's actually tied to the monkey, and so they try to vanquish try to do all that they can to try to damage this thing and get rid of it, and they think they get rid of it, they throw it down a well, and 25 years later, something happens, and the events of the monkey and these odd occurrences start happening again, and they have to find this little cursed monkey thing. This movie, to say the least, is very interesting. I definitely see that it is based off Stephen King, a Stephen King property, because one thing that the Stephen King books have, at least the movies and adaptations have, is they have a really big bully. They have this really thing about bullies, about how these over the top depictions of middle school, high school bullies. Very much a Stephen King trope at this point. Deals with absentee parents, religion, and all these things. The movie itself, though, I will say it is pretty batshit. It's a comedy. It's a dark comedy, more than anything than it is horror. Is the gore? The gore is pretty. What you see of it is actually pretty good. Very bloody, more brutal than I thought it was going to be. I mean, the trailers weren't trying to hide it how it was, but they were trying to focus it on more as being like this horror thriller type than it was a horror comedy. I think this pretty much is a comedy, like a dark comedy first and then horror second. Definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. It's probably one of the best dark horror comedies that I've seen in a while. But I haven't seen Longlegs yet, so I do need to check that one out. And I don't know if that one's more horror comedy. I think it's more geared towards like thriller, uneasy type stuff. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But I really had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought the characters were interesting, over the top sometimes, yeah. But I guess that is par for the course for a Stephen King property. I really dug, like I said, the brothers aspect. The main lead that we have, he's the one brother who kind of, he witnessed all this stuff happening, all these bad things happening, and he tried to put it all past him. And so he thinks that he has all this bad luck, and so kind of drove a wedge between his wife, his ex-wife in the movie, and his kid. And it's actually, through most of the movie, he has his kid go along with him to retrieve this monkey, and he goes to his old family home, and his son is witnessing all these events and crazy happenings going on. which is kind of wild. And the supporting side, he does his best. He's nothing. He's not like what do you call it? I think he's rightfully upset with him. But I don't think he's one of those people just like he's rude for no reason. I think you get a lot of these tropes of these teenage kids. They have a parental figure who's always trying their best and always doing what they can, and the kid never wants to be a part of it. But this one, it's like the dad doesn't want him around, but it's not because he doesn't love him. It's just because he doesn't want him to put him in harm's way, possibly. And so he's rightfully upset, but they do come to terms with that, and they work through that over their relationship through the duration of the film. The only problem I have for the film really is that the ending is kind of weird. You have this weird. They use little. There's CGI blood, I'm sure, throughout the movie, but in one particular scene involving bees, there's bees that go into a character, and it just looks weird. The effect looks weird, and I think it's actually a teaser for Perkins' next film. I think it's called The Beekeeper, or something like that, and that's his next film. So I think it's a teaser for that, but I could be wrong. That's apparently, according to IMDb, it's supposed to be coming out in 2025. So maybe he'll have another movie come out this year that'd be interesting to check out. But yeah, I really have only negative I said about that is the ending. I thought it was kind of weird, but pretty much I thought the movie was kind of solid. It was funny, it was dark, it was horrific, it was weird at times, but like I said, Stephen King property adapted into a movie that's actually pretty good. Is it The Green Mile? Is it like Pet Sematary? No, but I think this one goes in one of the good adaptations of one of his stories. So I give it a 3.5 stars. Letterboxd. There's a link to that. Link will be in the. I'll put that in the link. But yeah, I really dug this film. I didn't really know what to think going in. I thought, like I said, with the trailers and everything, they made it seem like it was going to be more of a horror-driven film, and so I was like, oh, maybe it's horror. But then I got to see all these people's reactions to it, and they kind of had mixed emotions about it, and they said it was more of a comedy. And I was like, really, the idea of this is kind of a goofy premise. You're scared of this monkey that's banging a drum. It's kind of, I feel like it would be a horror thing, but. They try to make it seem like that with the trailers, and I just think of this mismarketing. I think if they marketed it as a horror comedy, I think they probably would have people would have known kind of what they were going for when they went in to go see the movies. So, but yeah, that's my only complaint. So, what do you guys think of the film? Did you see it in theaters? What were your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.